Ahoy hoy everybody! Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to take a look at Project xCloud, which launched today in Australia. If you're unfamiliar with what Project xCloud is, it is Microsoft's streaming service similar to Google Stadia, where you don't need a console. You can basically stream straight from Microsoft themselves. It is at the moment only available on Android. So you see here I have the Galaxy Fold 2 as the device that we're going to be using today for the test. I'm going to show you just a little bit of how to register for it, and then let's go through how to use it. To register, you actually do need to register through the Xbox website. I'll put the link in the description, but essentially you go to the website here. You need to sign in with your Microsoft account. I've already registered, so we're going to sign in with a different Microsoft account. So we're just going to pause there and I'll just sign in. Okay, once you've signed into your Microsoft account, there's a couple of required fields to register for Project xCloud. You obviously need to supply your email address that you've used to sign in. That'll actually automatically fill. Select your country of residence. We're going to go with Australia, as that's where I live. Carrier. I'm on Telstra, so we're just going to hit Telstra for this one there. And Android or other are the only choices there. We're going to pick Android. We also have some tick boxes. I currently own or will buy a Bluetooth-enabled Xbox controller. I have one here, which we'll be using for the test. So we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and tick that. If I'm selected to participate, I agree to the terms and conditions. You can read those yourself if you would like. And I would like information, tips, and offers about Xbox, which you do not have to tick, I believe. And then all you need to do is hit the submit button and you'll be registered for Project xCloud preview. You will receive an email to that email address, which will allow you to be able to access Project xCloud. Now what we need to do is actually download the application itself. So hit the Play Store, we can type in Xbox streaming, and this is the one you want there. It is a white icon. You'll see Xbox game streaming preview. I, of course, already have this installed, so no need to reinstall it. But once you install it, you can basically open the application. You'll be prompted to sign in to your Microsoft account again. And once you do, if you hit the three little hamburger menu lines on the left-hand corner, you'll have Project xCloud or Xbox Remote Play. Now, Xbox Remote Play is actually moved to the Xbox app. So the only thing that you can actually do through this now is Project xCloud, which of course is what we are using. We're going to be showing off 3 games today. We're going to be showing off Tekken 7, Borderlands 2, and Forza Horizon 4. I figured what we would do is show off a fighting game, a shooting game, and a racing game. I am currently on 5G connection with Telstra for this test, but I will be swapping over to Wi-Fi throughout so that you can see the difference between the connections and what it looks like through there. The first thing you need to do before you continue though is, if you haven't already, you need to pair your Xbox controller up to your phone. I've already done that, so no need to do that. I'm just going to turn the controller on and it's going to automatically pair with my phone. Now, why don't we just launch a game here so that we can get right into it and you guys can see things like latency and what the picture looks like. We're going to open up Tekken 7 first and jump straight back into that game. Now, while this is loading, we'll talk a little bit about this service and what are the advantages of being able to use this. The first thing you actually need though is you need to have an Xbox Gold Ultimate subscription. And in Australia, that subscription will set you back $14.95 or $14.99, essentially $15 a month to be able to access it. At the moment, there isn't the greatest amount of games on there. I do hope that Microsoft are able to expand on that. But there is a little bit of variety for, I think they'll have something for everybody that they would be interested in. Hitman is on there as a particular highlight of something that I would enjoy. Obviously, Tekken's a great fighting game. And Forza is one of Microsoft's best-selling franchises. And Halo is on there as well. We'll show the full games list at the end. You can see though that it does take a little bit to actually load. Unfortunately, the load times are nowhere near as good as the Series X. Maybe in the future they're able to change that. and use some hardware for streaming that allows us to have faster load times. At the moment, you'll see, particularly with games like Tekken, the load times are actually pretty long. Now, I must put a disclaimer here that I'm not fantastic at Tekken, so please forgive what you're about to see. I'm absolutely terrible at pretty much most games, actually. It's weird that I chose to do this. You'll come to see that. One thing it will do is sync data. So if you are using a console and you're playing Tekken 7 and then you swap to xCloud, it'll actually look to sync your saves versus your cloud saves that you've had on your account versus the saves that you've actually done through this service as well. So it does have save compatibility across your console and also on the cloud. Now what we're actually going to do here is I'm just going to readjust where the phone is. I want to be able to show you the controller so you can actually see my button presses versus the latency on the controller. So we're just going to take a quick break, nothing for you guys, but just for me. Okay guys, we are back. So let's jump straight into it. We're just going to do offline arcade battle for the test. I will be swapping for the next two games. I will be swapping to recording directly off the device. So you'll see the games in full screen and actually see if you can tell that they were recorded on a phone. We're just going to go for the left-hand side there. For the character, let's just pick Law, mainly because I want to backflip some people. And we are going to basically jump straight into the game here. So far so good, especially on the 5G connection. You'll rarely ever see any sort of the connection little icon that you'll probably see later on when we connect to Wi-Fi. But at the moment, 5G connection holds up extremely well. Tekken does have quite a long load time for stages, so keep that in mind when sort of playing games. But really the big advantage of this is being able to play Xbox anywhere. Like for people traveling, especially when you're allowed to travel, please open the border, Palage. But when you're allowed to travel and you can go somewhere, having access to console games on your mobile phone, especially if you have something like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 or any other sort of device. But we're going to sort of show here sort of the latency. You can probably hear some of the button presses as well. Nice. So far, so good, right? Like, it feels really responsive. Like, I would have absolutely no problem playing this. I mean, whether or not you would actually want to play online, take that, Bob. Whether or not you would actually want to play this online, whether the latency is good enough, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm not a Tekken expert, as I said, so I wouldn't really know. But so far, like, I feel like the response time is really, really good. Man, this game might be on on easy a little bit there, obviously being the first stage, but you can see there that from when I was pressing it to what was happening on the screen was rather good. One thing you can actually do though is if you tap the screen, you'll have your three dots and your Xbox button there, so you can hit on the Xbox button and that'll bring up your normal mode there. Obviously you can tell I'm fairly lonely. I have 0 friends online, or really at all, but that's okay. You know, I'm very much happy playing on my own. What the three little dots do is give you a few different options here. You can provide feedback, you can quit the game, you can mute if you have a microphone attached or using the microphone that's on the device itself. I believe that's what it's for. And picture-in-picture mode, which allows you to continue playing the game in the background. Completely playing the game in the background and being able to then scroll through your game and pick another game. So apologies, I hit the wrong button there and we are actually out of that game. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap to the screen recording so that you guys can see both Borderlands 2 and Forza Horizon 4 playing from the device itself. So we will be right back. Okay everyone, we are back and I've just progressed enough in Borderlands so you don't have to watch all the intro cutscenes. We're going to go shoot some people in hopefully the face. Our first mission is obviously to retrieve Claptrap's eye. So we're just going to run through here and obviously we'll get some bullymongs coming through soon. I have played Borderlands before. Borderlands 3 is fantastic. If you haven't played it, highly recommend it. They've got some new DLC that's coming out for Season 2. as well, with Arms Race being pretty good, and a new 4th skill tree for all of the Vault Hunters. So let's see. Okay, we're just going to get through the tutorial town a little bit here. Let's see what the latency is like. I gotta say, so far, pretty good. Like, it feels responsive to aim and to fire. Yeah, so far I've found the controls to be pretty good. Oh, I don't have any grenades, of course. They just started. Obviously, I've missed there. Don't judge me too hard on my shooting ability. I'm not exactly trying to do the best here. I sort of want to just show off the latency. I'm still on 5G for this one, as you can see in the top. For Forza, we will swap to the Wi-Fi connection. I'm also going to put the results of my speed tests down in the description if you're interested in terms of what speeds I was working with in both the 5G and also the Wi-Fi, and that'll allow you just to compare with sort of what you have at home. I will say that I am on a NBN 100 plan. I'm using Aussie broadband, who I found to be pretty fantastic actually, so if you're looking for some good internet and they can provide to you, I recommend. Let's pick up that cash real quick. Okay, just shoot you in the face. There we go. They've made a lot of improvements in Borderlands 3 over Borderlands 2 as well, but I feel like we're getting off topic here, so we might as well go and pause the recording now, and we will jump into Forza on Wi-Fi. Okay guys, we are back with Forza Horizon 4. I am on the Wi-Fi connection, and we'll show you that really quickly. Just by swiping down, you can see I'm on Wi-Fi here, and you can see that it occasionally will have the icon come up on the screen around the connection, but I gotta say the connection so far from my testing today, and granted that hasn't been that much, it's never actually dropped. But you will see that icon flash occasionally, or at least in my experience I have on Wi-Fi. I mean, Australia doesn't exactly have the best internet, we all know this from living here, but it is actually surprisingly enough to be able to play the game. Now, I will see if there's any latency, or if it feels like there's any latency in comparison to previous 2 games. I keep in mind that I've done this car up pretty poorly, and the handling is actually pretty terrible, so excuse me while I bump into a few things here and get just a bit of a handle back for Forza. It's been quite a while since I played the game, and to be honest, I didn't really play that much when it came out. I'm not the biggest racing guy. I gotta say, it feels like there is a little bit more latency in this than there is, if you can hear me going left and right on the stick. Yeah, it feels like there's a little bit more latency in it, but to be honest, not unplayable. Again, I'm absolutely rubbish at this game, so please forgive my bad driving. It's a very similar experience on the road, actually, because I do actually have the same car that I'm driving now. It's just not as fast. But you can actually see here that the connection's been rather stable. There's no glitchiness on the screen. The icon hasn't come up. And I gotta say, even the latency, as I said, like, it does feel like there's a little bit more, but it could be I'm just bad at the game. But it's actually really not that bad. You can see there was like maybe the first glitch on the screen. I don't know if it translated for you, but it did for me. But yeah, it's definitely not feeling too bad at all. It's definitely playable. Like, I'd be very happy to play this. Now, there is one more thing that we want to show off in this video. It is exclusive though if you are using a Samsung device, particularly Samsung flagship devices. If you have not heard of Samsung DeX before, essentially it's a service that allows you to either wirelessly or through HDMI cord to plug your phone into the TV and use a desktop experience. Now, Xbox streaming will actually allow you to use full screen. So just with a HDMI cord and an adapter, you can actually turn your phone into like a mini console and play on another TV. Again, fantastic if you're traveling. So I'm going to grab my camera, we're going to go do some free cam. I apologize in advance, and I'm going to show that off in a second. Okay everyone, so I've just plugged my Galaxy Z Fold 2 into the TV using an adapter and HDMI cord. You can see it just there. And this is Samsung DeX. It is basically a way to be able to use desktop-like experience just by plugging your phone into the HDMI. Now you can use the phone as a mouse to be able to control it, and keyboard. I have the Xbox controller here, as you can see. Hello, PS5 controller. Xbox controller there, as you can see. So we'll be using that to basically just control it. Hit the Xbox streaming application here, and then we can see that the application is going to open in full screen. Now we can just jump back into any one of these three games. I might jump back into let's do Tekken 7. Actually, you know what, that didn't load. Let's do Forza again. I would say it offers me a chance of redemption, but I'm holding the phone at the moment, so I can't exactly play with the controller with one hand. So this is more just to boot it up and show you that it's possible to be able to play in full screen on another TV. This is fantastic. I think, personally, if you go somewhere and stay for Christmas or for weeks at a time, or you're visiting family and you don't want to lug your console around, provided that the games you want to play are on Xbox Project xCloud, you will be able to do that through DeX and play on another TV. Obviously, it's not going to be playing in 4K, so it's not going to give you, you know, everything that a console will give you, and you are limited to what games are on there, which I will show you at the end of this video, so please stick around for that if you're interested. But the point is that this really is the future. You can really see that cloud gaming has its advantages over regular, and I don't necessarily feel like it's going to take over from console gaming as yet. I think I have my I still have my audio output set to the phone. You can change that to the TV on the phone. So don't worry about that. You can do it. You can obviously have it playing through soundbars and systems and that kind of stuff, which I have set up now. So apologies for not having that set up. A bit of an oversight on my part. But yeah, the point is that you can be able to play this on a TV. I think that's absolutely extraordinary, and as much as it's in beta now and they'll look to improve it, being able to do something like this is amazing. And it really is, I think, the future of gaming. Not being restricted by physical hardware and being able to play it. Of course, I love physical hardware. I've got quite a lot of it myself. You can kind of see it around the room. But I do feel as this technology gets better and better, and we are able to provide feedback in what we want to see and how we want it to work and what features we want, this is only going to get better. So it makes me very excited for the future. The last thing that I will do is we'll show you the full game. So I'm just going to exit this game and I'll pop it back on the TV so that you guys can have a bit of a look. Last thing to show you is currently what's available on Xbox Project xCloud. My god, that's a mouthful. Try not to say it. You can see here obviously Forza, Borderlands and Tekken, but if you look through all games, you got Ark Survival, Batman, Black Desert, something Curse of the Moon, both Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, Code Vein, Cricket 19, DayZ, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Devil May Cry 5, PES 2020, F1 2019, Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, Halo Wars 2, Halo 5, Hellblade, Hitman, Just Cause, Minecraft, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, not sure what that one is, Resident Evil, again not sure what that is, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Civ 6, Skyforce, Smite, Battlegrounds of the Gods, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Stellaris, Tekken 7, WWE, and Yakuza 0. So, as I said, I feel like there's something there for everybody. Apologies, I didn't know a couple of them. My god, I really should have looked at that before I went through the list. But But that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the video. I hope you learned something about Project xCloud. And if you do already have an Xbox Ultimate Gold subscription, I highly suggest you try it out and provide some feedback back to Microsoft as well. This has been the Games Place, and thank you for tuning in.